everyone, how y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing well. Anyway, so today we're gonna start talking about dips and spans. So HTML is all about dips. You will see why. So let's start. A dip element, it defines a division or section in the HTML page. It also helps you to build a better supporting structures. This is what it's about. It's all about this right now. Okay, so the div has a line break before and after the div element, which means that nothing can be next to it when you use this. So it will definitely just whatever you add after a closing div, it will definitely go ahead and go to the next line instead of just going on the same line. And finally, the div is used for to group content, so it can be easily styled using the class or ID attributes. So let's before we go into the span, let's go ahead and do some div first. So right now I'm here and I'm just gonna go ahead and type some h1 and say my website, and then I will add a p tag and say hello, and just gonna add a whole bunch of exclamation um thinking. Yes, so all right, so let me just keep going and adding another one and say what I'm gonna say. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. You know what, I'm gonna put the name of the book that I'm reading right now. So let me see, let me just put this, The Magic of Thinking Big. Yeah, you should read this book, pretty good. And then I'm gonna add another pig tag. I love this book. And for now, I'm gonna leave it like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and click save. Let me just remove this. Let me just make sure I click save. And I will refresh this page, and there you go. So far we have a website with some titles, some paragraph, another title, another paragraph. So what about if I want to keep adding new stuff? For example, I can say here, what about if I put another H1 and say colors, and then here just add like a list of color, right? Let me just put red, just put blue, and of course, you know what's gonna be my next color. Yep, green. Let me just go back. There you go. So as you can see so far, if I will have some really cool content here, okay, let me just add some content generator here. Just going to tap this, copy and paste, and add it in these paragraphs. Okay, I will leave the color. It's going to be very useful. So there you go. And if we're going back to lesson, I forgot the name of the I forgot the number of the lesson, but if we're going back to the navigation that we create the other day, okay, just create some items here, just 8, and then closing the A tag, and then close my li, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and just put the attribute really quick, and of course I'm just gonna type this for now. Okay, just gonna add 3 because I have 3, which is my website, the name of the book, and colors. And of course, here I will type an ID. Just call A, another ID, and this is gonna be B, and oh no, this is gonna be B here. I'm sorry about that. It's gonna be B, and this one gonna be C. Just because. Again, here I'm gonna type 8, gonna type B, and I will type C. And of course, I'm gonna make this look a little bit better. Okay, so far we have a a list. I'm not gonna call it navigation yet, but I'm gonna call this a list. So we have a list, and then we have 3 titles here, which are different from each other. Each title describe a different paragraph, and this and here. Gonna go ahead and click save, and there you go. Let me just make this a little small just in case. So there you go. I'm supposed to have a list. If you click here, it's supposed to take you here. If you click here, it's supposed to take you here. And if you click the C, it's supposed to take you right here. Okay, there's no point to make this work right now just because the website is too short. And even if I click here, nothing's gonna happen because this is close to this and there's not even more content right here. So I just kind of leave it like that. So as you can see right now, we have some sessions here. For example, you can look at this the way you want. Like in my case, I see a navigation, which is one session. I see a title with paragraph, which is another session. I see another title with another paragraph, and then I see color with a list. So why do we need this div element here? A good way is to organize things out. For example, right now we want, I'm gonna leave this for last, but follow me on this one, okay? So here I have my div, and of course I am going to use some class, but nothing on it yet, just for now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and copy, same thing. And of course I'm gonna do it here and just copy the closing tag out here and here. Okay, and of course, just to be more comfortable, I'm gonna add some comments. I'm gonna say section A. Okay, and I'm going to add section A like closing, like I'm gonna start here, I end here, and I'm gonna do the same for all of them. Just organizing my code. Nothing should happen, nothing should break. Not at all. And finally, I will add this and this one here, which is the C. And this is a C. This is a B and another B. Okay. So if I go back to my code, there you go. Nothing's happened because I haven't done anything yet. All right. So let me show you the first thing that I just talked about, the line break. If I'm here and I type this here, and then I put this here, what do you think is going to happen? So I'm just did this right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click refresh, and there you go. It creates a line break. So this is what I mean by this part right here. It has a line break before and after the div elements. All right. Just keep that in mind. If you want to like add some style to this, this is not going to work because you want everything to stay on the same line. Okay, so that's the first thing about this one. The second thing is like we are grouping it. Like as you can see, this is a group right now. Here's a group. You can name this session A, and then do the same for all of it. We have B and we have C and we have C. Okay. So right now I have a website that is a little bit more organized, that if I need to change something, I know exactly where to go. Just gonna go ahead, just gonna make sure that it's back, and there you go. So far we have just a simple website with content. What about if instead of me having all this and me having this list, aka navigation on top, what about if I just create the list and give it their own space for this? Okay, for example, I'm here and I create a class, then just come here, and now as you can see, you're gonna see this navigation or list that is here on this div, and then you're gonna see everything else. Okay, I'm gonna go back, nothing should happen. All right, so now everything is grouped, like everything is inside their own grouping, like inside their own div. But I can still do more here. What about if, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want this to look much better. What about if I just come here, I highlight everything up to here. You see my three sessions here, A, B, and C. I'm just gonna click on top and just move everything to the right. And I'm gonna do that again. Yes, I have to. Yes, I would like to do that again. Okay, just click tab twice. And here, I am going to do the same thing with the list. Right now, I have this div and I'm gonna create a new one, and I will give it a ID just because, nothing special about the ID. That is called a container. And then I'm gonna go at the end and close this div. So right now, as you can see, everything is inside my container. I have my container here and I put this and everything else inside my container. So what is cool about this part right here? So the good thing about it is if I want to do something like separate this from this, I don't have to do it on each one. Okay, I don't have to do margin left on this one, margin left on this one, and margin left on the other one. Okay, I just can do some coding here on this one and it will apply to everything inside. Okay, what did I do? Okay, sorry about that. All right, so for example, let me just come here and say, well, my container, what about if you do some margin left and give it a margin left of 30 pixels? And I go ahead and just refresh. Do you see that? Everything just moved to the right or to the left because it's margin left. We just added some left space here. So as you can see, this is good for that. If you're trying to manipulate and if you're trying to like literally control your whole thing, if it ever inside of something, definitely you can just apply this rule to everything in there, right? But this is not all about. Nothing cool happened yet. Nothing cool happened yet. So now What about if I want to divide my list and this content? For example, what about if I want to make this on the left side and this content, I mean the list on the left side and this content on the right side? Okay, so we can do that using div. All right, so let's do that. So if I'm right here and I have this div, I'm gonna give it an ID as navbar, and I will close it here. Okay. Let me just close it. So there you go. Now I have this, and for my content, I am going to add another div and give it an ID of content, then close this div, not here, but here. Okay, and you will see why. So right now I have this content, this container. Gonna go ahead. I don't think I have to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So this is my container, okay, which ends here. Okay, but I have my content that ends here. All right, so far so good. If I click refresh, nothing's happened. Why? Because still I have not given any instruction to the divs. Like they should not do anything because they just there, just waiting for me to say something. So let's go ahead and add some CSS. I'm gonna delete this just for now. And I'm going to use what we call the float. And then I'm gonna say left. And then I will say the width of this thing will be 80%. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for my navbar. And I will say, you know what? Move everything to the left and use the width and make this 20%. So if now I go ahead and click save and do this, this is what happened. Why did this happen? All right, I need to go back and see where did I mess it up. All right, so let's double check. So I have my container, which is holding everything. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what happened? All right, let me tell you what's happened. Do you see this 80%? And I put the wrong, I say container here. It should not be the container. It should be the content. Why? Because I'm making 80% and 20%, which is 100%. I'm making this navbar 20%, as you can see here. And I want the content to be 80%. You see that? So I'm saying I want something to be a side and the other one to be another side, but I want them to be on the same container. You see that? So my container is like it's the box. And then inside the box, I'm just putting like a line and say, okay, here I'm gonna put my apples and here I'm gonna put my orange. So let me just go ahead and click refresh, and there you go. So now in this side, I have my my list, and on this side, I have my content. So far, so good. I hope you still not getting confused with this. But, and again, this can be a navigation. So this can be also something that is moving from website to website. This can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be just the navigation. It could be anything you want that you want to put it on the left side, and the rest you want to put it on the right side. So let me just go back. I show you how the tip works. Let me just repeat that one more time for the like just clarifying everything. So here we have body, which is the body tag, and everything have to be inside the body tag. That's the first thing. Then I just create a container, and this is just to make sure everything is like I can control everything. Because right now, if I say, okay, you know what, instead of me having, right now we have a full container. Okay, so what about if I want the width of the container to be, I don't know, probably 80% only, okay? And I go there and I click refresh, and there you go. So now it's 80%, as you can see. I also can move this on the center, but because of that, I just make this 80%. So as you can see, this space here, I can control my dip right now. So my container. So because I want to make sure that I control everything here, I just put everything inside a container. Then I said, okay, let me just create two things, which is the nav bar, the navigation bar, and the content. And of course, I put one on one side and I put the other one on the other side. Okay? And just because I want to be a little bit more organized, or just because whatever reason you have, it doesn't have to be like this, but this is just to keep everything organized. And again, I want to make sure that I put everything together. So here, I know I'm having three sections, so A, B, and C. And inside my content, I still try to play with my things here, with my sessions, with my elements. So I put everything inside. Whatever belongs to one thing, I'm trying to put everything inside one tip. So as you guys can see here, we have two things inside this one session A. And again, the good thing about this is if I want to make this thing red, let's say, or anything, I want to make any changes, but I want to apply it to everything, I just can start it from here instead of just go each one on each one. For example, if you want to apply like a size or anything, any color or anything, any font family or whatever you want to do, you just can refer using this session 8. And again, of course, probably you might be like, why do you need that right now? But the thing is, if this website will have a whole, like a lot of content, then you probably might want to make sure to keep everything organized. That's that's the only reason, actually. So let me jump to this pan. So it is an inline tag and also allow you to mark up a part of a text. And this is the most important part, which allow you to style a specific text. Okay. So here, I believe I used this before. So if I want, in fact, I think I used it like a few lessons back. So here, if I want to add the printing, and I want, like, for example, first of all, nothing should happen. If I go back, I save this, and I just add this right here, nothing should happen. It's like, and again, let me just remove my 80% on the container. Yeah, everything is, there you go. So here, take a look at this one. So you can see I add the span and nothing's happened because nothing is supposed to happen, okay? So I can come here and say, well, let me give it some style. Let me give it some color. And let me say red. So I come here, I refresh this, and there you go. You are styling a specific text or even word or even sentence or even the whole paragraph, which is not going to make sense, I know, because instead of, if you want to style the whole paragraph, just add it here in the p tag. Okay, and I go there, and yes, you're gonna do that. But again, this is more useful for specific task that you want to do something, especially when you want to bold something. Like people like to, bold something or adding some font style, something like that. They use this for that. And to make sure, sometimes they also just create a class, and you can call the task anything you want, like red color, let's say, and then you just can keep adding this same class to everything around, and your code is not going to look that bad. Let me just create the class. Give me 1 second before here. And of course, I'm just gonna say color red. This is my class. And if I come here, you will see the red here and the red here. And so I can keep going. If I want to keep using the same theme, I can just go ahead and keep copy and paste the same thing everywhere. Let me just go back. And there you go. Right? So let me see what else I'm missing here. Yep, this is what we just did right now. We were adding some structure. We create literally like a website here. If you want, you can even add new pages. All right, you're gonna add new pages, and after you adding new pages here, new HTML page, you can use the same code, like literally copy and paste, and just remove this content up to C. Okay, this is the content. Not this, not a div, just the content itself, just any content that you have here. And then this is your template here. And then you just add the same side everywhere. And here, for example, you can have a home, you can have about, and of course, you can have a contact. Okay, gonna do this, then click about, and then click contact. Once it's done, and let me just say here, add some content. There you go. So you can even use that and then just create these 3 pages here. And when you create those 3 pages, just add the same code. And then you just, all you have to do is adding anything different inside here, inside your content. And of course, you need to, if you want to, of course, I mean, you have to, just to keep everything organized. Depends on how much content you add in here. You definitely need to have everything organized. So for example, you can add some div for title, and then not title, but I will say box, let's say. So this is a box here, and inside this box, you probably have a title. Okay, and then after the title, you probably have some content. You can call it content text. And then, who knows, you probably might have a footer. But not like a footer, but like a box, a card footer. Yeah, this can be not only a box, but also a card, like this. And then you can just say here, card footer. Yeah, something like this. And of course, you can just come here and say my title, my content, and then my footer. Then just go back. There you go. And then you have a title, you have some content, you have some footer, but everything is inside this card right here, which means that you can also just go ahead, copy and paste this card like this, and then you have a more organized website. Okay, I will see you in the next lesson to learn more about this stuff, but more importantly, we're gonna talk about the pseudocode, which is this one here. Okay, I will see you in the next lesson.